Yo, what's going on with y'all? It's your boy NeohXO here to talk about Black Clover chapter 278. We've been waiting on this chapter for a little while, and then we expected to get spoilers, but we didn't get no spoilers for this chapter really. And I mean, pretty good chapter at the end of the day, so I'm happy with it. They got a color page for this one. Twitter was going wild with this color page. Like, just look at it. Like, you could tell why they was going wild. Like, this is a artistic color page though. Like, if you really think about it, you can see the Zogratis like siblings just laying on the ground, and I'm guessing that's blood. Some people was joking and saying like it's chocolate, but I'm pretty sure that's blood, you know. And we see Vonica, she looking good as always, but I'm gonna just leave it at that because you guys already know. But basically this chapter went pretty much along the lines of what I had predicted. Y'all need to start watching the prediction videos. But yeah, people starting to say I'm spying on Tabata because I keep predicting this stuff, but I felt like this just was what was coming, you know what I mean? Now, before we get too deep into talking about this chapter, subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video. Basically that just helps support the channel, and you know, if this channel grows, we can reach more people talking about Black Clover, grow the community. But anyways, starting off this chapter, we get right into the action with Jack hitting Dante with a slash. You know, Jack has that severing magic, and like I said in my predictions video, if someone has a chance to defeat Dante, we know that it's Asta because he has anti-magic, and we know that it's Jack because Jack has severing magic. We know that in Black Clover, magic types play a big part in their battles because Dante essentially has body magic, so he can keep on regenerating his body, but Jack has severing magic, so Jack could basically sever off all of these body parts as Dante is regenerating. But what we see in the beginning of the chapter is basically Dante had undergone some type of experimentation from Morris, as we saw him a few chapters back in the test tube. Now, Morris basically added on to his regenerative abilities, and now Dante is able to regenerate even faster. So at first maybe Jack would have had an easier time severing him, but since he's even faster at regenerating than whenever Dante fought against Yami, which we know he was regenerating during that fight as well, but now he regenerates even faster. So Jack, even though Jack's magic has the upper hand, Dante is just a specimen. All right, Dante is literally just a specimen. So in Dante's head, he basically thinks that the only person who can defeat him is Asta, which is a flawed way of thinking, because at first he didn't even think that Asta can defeat him, but now he's saying, okay, Asta is probably the only one who can defeat me. But he's not learning his lesson. He need to stop thinking that no one can beat him. All right, that's his problem. That's why he lost to Asta in the first place, because he underestimated him. And what is happening now, you can see the same thing. He did not learn his lesson. He has a big ego and he is too overconfident in his abilities. Dante is way too overconfident, and that is what caused him to lose against Asta, because if you remember, he had the opportunity to literally kill Asta before Asta even did any damage to him, but he wanted to play around, and that's why Asta really had to do him down bad with an anti-magic slash. And if you look at this chapter, you can still see the anti-magic slash going straight across his chest. Like, he gonna live with that. But basically, he underestimating Jack, and Nacht is underestimating Jack a little bit, but Nacht uses his personality to kind of annoy Jack. And you know, whenever emotions are involved, people in Black Clover kind of get power-ups, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know how in some anime they got the power of friendship, it's kind of like in Black Clover they got the power of emotion. So whenever people go through like these emotions, they get the power-ups, and then we get to see some awesome action. Dante then stops playing around, and what he does is uses his gravity magic, and his gravity magic basically immediately sends Jack to the floor. Now when it comes to Nacht uses his devil union mode, and basically he's kind of like this fourth, I don't even know what to call it, but like I'm gonna call it like he hard body. Like, basically he kind of built like sturdy, real sturdy, and it's kind of like he got a lot of fortitude, and basically that's the attribute of one of his devils. Now we've seen Gimodello at this point, we've seen the devil union mode with that, and now we're seeing another devil union mode, and this is clean. I can't wait to see Asta's devil union mode, because these devil union modes are clean. Basically, Nacht design, he kind of looked like a fortress low-key to me, or like a tank design. You know how tanks are like heavy and you can't really blow by him or nothing? It kind of like some Transformer type stuff. Like, he basically has these shields, and this is basically a defensive mode right here. I can see a lot of defense going into this. Like, you hit it, you just bounce right off because it's so big. But basically, he uses this devil union mode, and he not really affected by the gravity. You can see the gravity affecting him. If you look real close at the details, you can see that he's being affected by it, but he's not being like weakened by it, because it's pushing down on him, but he's just breaking the ground. He's not falling to the ground. So basically, Dante also acknowledges that Nacht is a devil user, and he's surprised by this. Now, this should debunk a lot of theories, because a lot of people have been saying, what if Nacht is conspiring with the Dark Triad? Now, Dante's saying this, being like, oh, there's someone else other than Asta with devil possession. Then it kind of says that he didn't even know who Nacht was, and that makes sense. You know why? Because Nacht is a spy, and you're not supposed to know who a spy was if they were a good spy. So they didn't even know who Nacht was. So no, Nacht was not working with Dante, because Dante don't even know who this man is, you know? Honestly though, this chapter did a good job of just getting straight to the point, honestly. Basically, what ends up happening, Nacht and Dante, they start exchanging blows, honestly, on equal footing. Now, I could see Nacht being able to actually have a chance at defeating Dante, if not for his crazy abilities. Dante is just have hacks, like, you know what I mean? Nobody can sit there and say Dante don't have hacks. The man literally can regenerate his body. So Nacht basically facing off against him, going blow for blow, and they really doing damage to each other. But the thing is, Nacht can't land the finishing blow on Dante, because Dante keeps on regenerating. So you really can't do nothing about it. So like he said, the only person who really could defeat him is Asta. But if there's a second person who could defeat him, is Jack, because Jack has that severing magic. So basically, Nacht is just getting on Jack. He like, man, you a captain, but you're not really doing nothing. You was talking all that, because if you remember at the captain's meeting, Jack was talking all kind of trash. He even talked trash to Yuno after Yuno had his whole squad demolished. Jack was like, dang, bro, you let your whole squad get demolished like that? You sure you're not scared? And like, now look at Jack on the ground. And that's basically what Nacht was saying. Nacht was saying like, bro, you was talking all that, now look at you on the ground. And Jack gets a flashback, so we finally get to see the backstory of Jack. Basically, Jack's father was a commoner, and he was a hunter, and he basically hunted small birds and animals, basically anything that was weak, because I'm guessing his magic was not strong enough. So basically, he would kill small animals, because that's all he could do. He would prey on the weak, basically. And one day, his dad died, you know, and he could see like some claw marks on the back of his dad. And basically another day after that or whatever, like some time passed, I'm guessing, because I don't know if he just went the same day. He might have went the same day, but basically he seen his dad got like clawed up by a bear. So he went and ended up avenging his father, because I can only assume this is the exact same bear. And I'm not even gonna say I can only assume. This is the exact same bear. I'm putting my chest into it. This is the exact same bear that killed his father. So Jack went, killed the bear, and you know, that's something Jack typically wouldn't have done at that point, because his father had taught him to not battle anything that was stronger than him. So that was kind of like his first time battling a stronger opponent. And you can see the facial expressions. He's sticking out his tongue. That's kind of where he get the psychotic behavior from. I guess after he fought that strong opponent, he wanted some more. Basically, he demolished that bear. So like, he basically avenged his father, and then he was like, I guess he realized he was strong and he wanted to fight other strong opponents. So he basically ended up joining the Magic Knights. And after that flashback, it cuts back to them actually in battle, and we see Nacht supporting. Again, I predicted this. All right, I'm just gonna say that. Nacht supporting Jack, and Jack basically is on the ground still, and Dante trying to hit Jack, but he not letting that happen. I like how the Clover Kingdom protects each other. Like, even in the fight against Dante, Yami, and Asta was about to get hit so many times, and then Yami had to help him out. I like how the Clover Kingdom helps out each other when they're down, you know, because some people, like maybe the Dark Disciples, would have just let their opponents just, you know, let their teammates fight for themselves, you know. Now, toward the end of the chapter, Jack got tired of that, and I definitely can see why, bro. You a captain, you know, so Nacht was basically telling him off. He had Dante telling him off, and he basically couldn't fight on equal footing. So what he did was he basically was grinding up his blades or whatever, because, you know, whenever Jack uses his blades, they get stronger and stronger until they can cut whatever it is that they need to cut. And he ended up cutting the gravity. All right, so after he cut the gravity, basically he has blades all over his body now. I don't really know what's up with that. Like, that is a crazy new ability. That man got a blade coming out his head. That man got a blade coming out his chest, but he got blades all over his body. And so at this point in the battle, honestly, his blades are probably super sharp and could cut through basically anything, honestly, because Jack's blades, as far as we know, can cut through anything as long as they get the time and the momentum. So he cut straight through Dante, and Dante basically saying, like, calling him an insect. Dante still talking trash when anybody gets smacked. And what ends up happening is Jack is just not playing. He comes out the air and slice all over Dante, and it seems like that was enough to do it, at least for right now, put Dante in his place for a second. And it seems like Nacht was impressed by that, so we're gonna get to see next chapter what's happening, and I'm gonna have some predictions. Now, I told y'all this is gonna happen this chapter. I told y'all need to start watching the predictions. Most of y'all do anyways, but subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and comment and all that good stuff. As always, it's been your boy NeohXO, and I'm out.